sampling techniques. How do you actually go about selecting a sample to actually survey? And there are actually different sampling methods, and I want to show you a few of them. And then in your project, you're going to have to decide which one you want to use. So, I gave you some questions here. Which party wants to win the next election? Should the cafeteria reduce their prices? Well, for some questions, the answer can be found by using a survey, which, of course, is just a way of collecting data. It's usually not possible to carry out a survey by collecting data from everybody who could be surveyed. So, from last day, when every person cannot be asked, the answer to a question is found in using a part, or what we call a sample, of the population. So the question is, how do we actually collect the samples? And this procedure is called figuring out the sampling technique. Once again, to collect reliable data, statisticians use techniques designed to eliminate bias and unwanted influence, right? So, remember, bias can be eliminated by use of language, but also in how you actually ask the different types of people. So once a survey is ready to be used and the language is good, the people must be selected to participate in the survey. And here are some of the most common sampling techniques. The first one is called a simple random. So, all items in the population have an equal chance of being included. So, for example, here you've got a sample. Here's the population, and you're going to sample students in your class. Each student picks a slip of paper from a bucket, and then the 5 students who actually pick a slip with the actual check mark on it, well, those get to participate in the survey. Very random, by chance, and you're choosing 5 out of, let's say, 30. So this is what they call a simple random technique. So methods: drawing names from a hat, numbering items, and using a random number generator. Here's the second one I want to show you about. It's called the systematic random sample. So the previous one was called the simple. This is now called the systematic random sample. So here you would line up everybody in the classroom, and then you say every nth item of the population is selected. N stands for a number. So for example, I could say every 8th person gets selected. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to select you to do the survey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to select you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to select you, and so on. Okay. So in the very next election, there's more people. You don't want to survey everybody, but you're going to call every 500th person on the list. Okay. They usually use this for manufacturing and quality control. So, for example, if I were to produce cans of, I don't know, pop, and you want to ensure that every can tastes right, or there's good quality there, you will then choose perhaps, every 200th can that comes off of the assembly line or the production line, and you taste test that can. Now, in this case, in manufacturing, once you survey or taste test something, it's unable to be used afterwards. You can't put it back and sell it. So that's what they call a destructive sample. Okay? Oh yeah, so here, Pepsi, right? That's a cola company. They sample every 2,000 cans for quality control. And of course, once you open it, you can't close it back up. So it's destructive. Okay, so more random sampling. This one's called stratified random sampling. So this one is a little bit more interesting. It uses what we call natural or pre-existing groups within a population. And then after that, a simple random sample method is used to select items from each group. So you think about the population itself. Well, guess what? You've got grade 8s. Maybe there's like 300 of them. You got grade 9s. Maybe there's now 350. Grade 10s, there's 310. Grade 11s, let's say they're 400. And maybe the grade 12 population has, 375 people. So the idea here is to pick or use natural pre-existing groups. So here are some pre-existing groups. And then you use a simple random sample method to select items from each group. So you're going to take a few of the grade 8s, check a few. You'll take a few of the grade 9s, you'll take a few of the grade 10s, you'll take a few of the grade 11s, and you'll take a few of the grade 12s. So natural stratas or groups can be done by age or grade level. You might want to think about gender, And there are other ways too, but you're looking for natural or pre-existing groups. So you don't create the groups, they're just naturally there. Okay? So for example, you have a football league, the natural groups are the teams, and you take 5 players from each of the teams. Okay? And moving on, there's something called the clustered sample. So in this case, you're still using those pre-existing groups, but this time, a group is chosen randomly, and each member is selected. So for example, once again, we have our grade 8s, grade 9s, grade 10s, grade 11s, grade 12s. This time, once you have your pre-existing groups, you're going to take perhaps only all the grade 9s and just survey them. Okay, and you're not going to survey grade 8s, you're not going to survey 10s, 11s, and 12s. So, is there a problem here? Yeah, because your group may not be a good representation of the entire population. So there's inherent problems with this one, although it's still used quite often. So for example, you have 7 grade 9 classes of math, and you're doing a survey, and you're going to choose 2 out of 7. Still okay, but you don't really know if those 2 out of 7 really represent everybody in grade 9. But it's easy to do, so you do it that way. There are 2 other sampling techniques I want to show you, but these could lead, to what I call invalid results or conclusions. But there are advantages to these ones because most of them are quite cheap and easy to set up. Once again, the disadvantage is you don't have an equally likely chance that everyone's selected, and so your sample might not be a good representation of the population. So the last 2 are called the convenient sample, and this is where you just go and say, hey, you're convenient, I want to survey you. So for example, you're interested in eating habits of South students, so you go to the cafeteria and go, hey, I want your information about this. And you just ask the first 50 people. You don't care about who comes, you just want to ask the first 50 people. Or the last one, self-select sample. This is where only interested members of the population respond. So members generally select themselves. So this is where perhaps, you are a radio station, you're conducting a top 10 list of most requested songs. Those who are interested in it and love the songs will phone in. Those who don't care are like, I'll skip the survey. Right? Or a new law about increasing the driving age is considered, and then guess what? People are asked to go to a website, but you don't actually know who goes. Only those who are probably interested will go. So this is what they call a self-selected sample. So, turn the page. I've talked to you a lot today about the different types. Now I want you to be able to identify it. So, here's my question. In order to decide if a new rec center is viable for their town, the council decides to conduct a survey of 300 people to see if the population will support the project. And 6 different methods are considered, the 6 I just showed you. And I want you to identify the sampling method used. So your job is to read through every one of these statements and then match it up to the sampling method that I just talked to you about in the last, 5 or 6 or 7 minutes in the video. Okay? I'm going to let you read this yourself. Give yourself some time. Go back and read the descriptions, and then fill in the chart and find the answers, and then afterwards double check your answers of mine. Okay? Don't cheat now. Pause the video. Go ahead and actually do what I said, and then come back once you've written down your answers. Alright, see you soon. No cheating. Stop the video, I said. Did you get this for the first one? Did you get this for the next one. From each group, 75 are surveyed. That would be a stratified random sample. Databank generate list, simple random. Self-selected, 300 of one group, that's a cluster. And you can figure out which ones would generate the most bias. I'm going to leave this blank for you. You come show me your answer in class next day.